They got a Soylent Green drink out now. People don't even know what that is. Soylent Green is people, for people that don't know. That was the Charlton Heston movie. That's where they took Moses after they put him in Planet of the Apes and then put him in a future of overpopulation to the point where they didn't have enough food to feed everybody. So they created a new food called Soylent Green, and they come to find out that Soylent Green was people. So what's the difference between them doing that and them telling you that they've created a new form of clone meat or human meat? Human meat is people. Therefore, if you eat that, you're a cannibal, period. But they've now even tried to make cannibalism cool. They've tried to make that cool. They made a whole TV show with Drew Barrymore and Josh Duhamel in which she was a cannibal, eating people, putting people in blenders and all types of shit. And this is all good. People are okay with it. Why? Because these movies, again, are predictive programming to let you know. One of the symbols of Baal is the elk, right? That's why you've seen the whole thing of the elks in the woods in the movie. When you stack their name together, Roberts, Mashallah, Ethan Hawke, and Mahala, it all creates Baal. See? Baal is the one to destroy. His job, or its job, is to destroy people's faith in their institutions, in themselves, in a higher power, in their higher self, etc., etc. See, that's why there's 4 of them, because each one of them represent the horsemen. You see, because all of these niggas are puppets. They're not even real people, these things. For all you know, Julia Roberts is a goddamn robot. You don't know. You know how many different versions of these niggas they done put in front of us? You know how many different... Look at all the different versions of Beyonce you done seen in your life. You ain't never seen the same Beyonce twice. Because none of this shit is real. Whitney Houston, allegedly, her real mother ain't Sissy. Her mother's a lady named something Graves. Tracy Graves or something like that. Look it up. All of these people are something else. Yeah, that's why they got them in the middle of the road. The Road is another dystopian movie about cannibals in the future. Right? They've been pumping this to us from the beginning. Who is Baal in the Bible? Baal is the name given to several deities who are designated as false gods or idols. Why? He, however, is most often used to describe when the Canaanite Phoenician god of fertility and rain. Additionally, Baal is associated with Beelzebub, demons, and the devil. Why all of a sudden all of this fascination with old Canaanite shit? Right around this time now, wasn't what's his name? Hannibal a Canaanite? Phoenician? Yes. Carthage? Yes. But white people's bugging. They like, oh, he's white, blah, blah, blah. No. Phoenicia and all of that is an Afro-Asiatic language, according to the white people. So why is the government of Tunisia mad? Because it's all coming out. Because that would then mean, because you got to look at it from the reality. If Netflix is putting on the fact shit that Cleopatra, for instance, was melanated the way that we know she was, because most of the Greeks and all of them back then was melanated. They didn't look like the cosmopolitan Greeks of today. But regardless, right? They want to believe that because they've been there for the past 80 years or past 100 years or past 200 years, that that's somehow older than us as the people who laid the foundation of the places they was at. But whatever. Because these same white people will say, oh, well, Cleopatra wasn't black. So you mean to tell me that this queen, who happened to be of Macedonian Ptolemaic lineage, right, from Macedonia, all of that, which means that they were Peloponnesian, which means they would have to descend from the ancient Peloponnesian races, like the Etruscans and them, who was black, who was melanated. Then if we want to take it to old Europe, we'd have to go into the Grimaldi people, who were the original people there, who produced the Cheddar Man, right? The Warwick Man, and all of these other fake names they come up with people. But let's go for the benefit of the doubt. So again, white man, you want to tell me, or Arab, you want to tell pale Arab, you want to tell me that, okay, Cleopatra couldn't have been black in Africa, but if I tell you that King James was black in Europe, you'd be like, no. So where was the original people at? They was only in Africa, right? But according to you, they wasn't even there. So where was they at? They wasn't in America. They wasn't in Africa. They wasn't in Europe. So where was they at? Where was you at? Where was we at? Where was we at in any of this? We just wasn't Phoenicians. We wasn't Canaanite. We wasn't none of these ancient people, but we are the original people. So if there was a people who were a Canaanite or a Phoenician or a Carthaginian in their ancient context, BC, that would be us or people who resemble us. Because we're the only people who look like those people who came from that time today. I am. This makes me feel good. So in that creates a circumstance by which they prove their own inferiority complexes by trying to be superior. Us to be seen as slaves. But how could we be seen as slaves if the term Slovak or Slovenian means somebody that's pale or look like them? See, they're always boxed in. They're always boxed in. So what they got to do is punch, what they say, punch up. They didn't create anything. Nothing that they have came from them. Think about it. You think if this white man could go to the moon and leave these niggas behind, he wouldn't have already gone? He can't escape the Van Allen belt. He can't escape this place. He knows that. He's told people that. He's told people that himself. And still, they think it's real. They think it's real. So they create these types of movies, right, to make us think that the world is going to end. How can the world end? So they stopped using the term end or apocalypse. You notice that the closer we get to it, the less they talk about this shit, right? The less they use the word, right? The closer we get to it. They don't want to use the word apocalypse or the end of the world or any of this, right? So they start using words like phrases like leave the world behind. What world? Which one? Right? When it's all to service the ancient gods that we, as the ancient Canaanites, the ancient Phoenicians, their descendants, fought against. That's why we are able to still be here, because our ancestors, your ancestors, our ancestors fought against those niggas. We told them they was tripping. You cannot keep sacrificing babies to these idols, nigga. We're the ones that stopped them. Do you understand? We stopped that. We're the ones. We said no. We're getting rid of all of you niggas. Matter of fact, we're going to wipe you off the face of the map where people don't even remember you. You don't know how many civilizations we ourselves just destroyed because of this shit? No. That's how protected in the spirit we are. It's like when a woman gives birth, that shit hurt, and she can remember it, but unless she go through it again, she's not gonna remember it like that, because it would drive her insane. Think about having to experience the pain as you felt it in the moment that you had it. Every time you think about it, you die. You die. Look, they didn't even invent the menorah. The menorah is not even Jewish. It's not even Jewish. It's not even Kwanzaa, because there is no such thing as Kwanzaa. That was created by a CIA agent named Karanga. You understand? Who had a fake Black Panther movement called Gentlemen's Incorporated that was beating black women and selling them into slavery. Facts. See? So the Hebrews got it from the people who they came out of, who are the so-called Egyptians. But the Hebrews were just Phoenicians who took the Phoenician Canaanite culture and added Egyptian artifacts and shit to it and acted like it was something to do. That's the difference. That's who Abram really was. That's why he had to change his name to Abraham. He had to switch up his name because shit got too hot where he was at. So he had to go. So his God that he was an agent for told him to go to this other place and hook up with these other Moors who had they shit together, learn how they did it, and then go back and then take his version and flip it and bounce it. Basically, he was, you know what I'm saying? He basically elevated or took what was there and put his spin on it, and it turned into a nation of people. But these people were not unified. That's why they kept degenerating themselves into paganism. That's why we separated from them niggas. That's why they asked us as Moors, right, to establish the Pahath Moab, the people who would choose the kings and the queens of Judah. Right? So there's this book going around that's been out that seems to have a lot of people upset. I don't know why. But whatever. I went through it and read it, and it basically means more means dead. And it basically gets into the hieroglyphic aspect of Moors and the idea of Moor being a funerary rite word or word associated with the dead, which I have no problem with. I actually think that gives us more power. That gives us more power. That means that we were the lords of the underworld. And you think that's somehow a negative to me, nigga? What? like what do these niggas be reading? Think about it. The Moors were the ones who, like I said, after Yeshua did what he did, right? Let's say if that happened, that ushered in the golden ages of humanity in which we reigned supreme. Look at all of the buildings and all of the shit that we created during that period. All up until from the day they put Yehoshua up on the stake or hung him from the tree, whichever one you want to say, to 1492. You know how long that was? And this is before the Gregorian calendar. This is before the calendar, the Julian joint. So you really don't know how long that was. So I'm reading this book because these Moors were saying, yo, this dude on Facebook saying how the Moors are dead and just calling yourself a Moor means that you dead and this and that. So I said, let me read this. So I'm reading this shit and I'm like, this is great. Thank you. 2,160 years. Who had a better reign than us, nigga? Are you crazy? And then what happened? All of our structures became necropolises, meaning places of the dead, where the Negroes dwell. What does Negro mean? Dead, right? Right? So in essence, we had to get brought down to the Negro level to come back up to the Morum level, to the Muslim level, to the true Meroe level. I suggest every Moor read this book and understand your power, the power that we have over all of these other people who claiming that they this and they that and what we are and what we not. So what? Yes. Okay, great. Moor mean dead. What does that mean? So what, me describing that means that I'm dead the way that you think is dead? How can that be when I got more knowledge than you to see through the obvious bullshit of what dead really means in this text? What does the Book of the Dead in Egypt say? It said we go forth by darkness into the night, into the day. Right? Look, more. Who make being dead look more fashionable than the original man and woman in America? We done created a whole industry on being dead. Nigga, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You niggas have no depth perception of who and what you really are. So you should just shut up and spare us your banality, so that way we don't really see how stupid you really are. Because for you, for anybody, that means that we are the lords of all realms. You understand that? You understand, in order for them to control anybody on earth, they got to get somebody that look like us to do something that we invented before them, so that way they can actually take ownership of it and enforce us to do it in a manner that then serves them. Who else they do that to in the world? Who else got that type of creativity? Nigga, we was all born dead. We all walking around zombie. We was all walking around here zombies at one point or the other. Nobody is exempt from that on third density. Are you crazy? That's what this symbol right here represents. King St. George slaying the dragon. But look how the Ethiopians did it. Because they really Indians. They really from India. You understand? Everybody eventually is going to have to go back to who and what they was. And Maurs got to stop taking what everybody think about them personally and stop reading and interpreting things based upon what other people want them to emotionally be affected by. That shit ain't got nothing to do with us. No, yeah, yeah, okay, great. More mean dead. I'm with that. That means we're the lords of the dead, which explains a lot. Don't it? Don't it explain a lot? No. When your enemy is making mistakes, support him. You know what I'm saying? When your enemy be saying dumb shit like that, like, embrace it. Be like, word, you right. You right. More do me dead. That means we have that's why they used to come to us for the tarot readings and the astronomy and the astrology and how to read palms. And who was doing all of that? Who had the science on all of that? Who was the people running the funerary temples? Who was doing that? The high priest of Anu, right? What's another word for the high priest of Anu? Anybody know? Anybody know? More, right? That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. So keep hating. Find something else. Find something else to make me not like what I done already showed and proved is as it always was. Look, Muslim. Everybody think Muslim and Muslim the same thing. How is Muslim and Muslim the same thing when the term is actually Mosalem? Yeah, Anu. Anu was the father. Then it was Enki, who was the son, and then you had Enlil, who was the other son. These was the hero twins in the Popo Vow story. That was over here. This is Hercules, this is Thor and Loki. You understand? This is Heru and Set. This is Jesus and Pontius Pilate. See what I'm saying? You could just keep going. This is Batman and the Joker. This is Spider-Man and Green Goblin. Like, you could just keep going. You could just keep going. But again, how could Muslim and Muslim be the same thing when the term Muslim is older than the term Muslim? They don't got no date on when the Algonquin people was using that term. This is before the birth of Muhammad, peace be upon him. This is before that. Look, Dr. Barry Fell, look, Harvard University, see? Harvard University, see? Introduced. Thank you, More. Old come before you. Thank you, More. Here you go. That's basic alphabets. And who created the alphabet? The Phoenicians, right? And the Phoenicians was Canaanites, right? And the Canaanites was Moabites, right? And the Moabites was Moors, right? Right. Right. Okay.